Look around you. Look at the clothes you are wearing. Think about the phone or computer you are holding right now. Think about the last political argument you had, or the last profound belief you defended. You believe you chose these things. You believe your thoughts are your own. You believe that if a charismatic leader stood in front of you and told you to surrender your money, your family, or your life, you would walk away. You think, I'm too smart for that. I could never be brainwashed. That arrogance is exactly what they are counting on. Welcome to Shadow Psychology. Today, we are moving away from the toxic people in your personal life and we are zooming out. We are looking at the architects of mass manipulation. Cult leaders, extreme politicians, corporate advertisers, the invisible puppeteers who use dark psychology not just to control one person, but to control millions. They all draw from the exact same psychological playbook. They hack the human brain's evolutionary flaws. They bypass your critical thinking, hijack your amygdala, and rewrite your reality without you even realizing it. By the end of this video, you will look at the world differently. You will see the invisible strings attached to your mind, and more importantly, you will learn how to cut them. We are going to decode the dark psychology of mass control. When you hear the word brainwashing, you probably picture a dark room, a swinging pendulum, and a monotone voice repeating phrases. But real brainwashing doesn't happen in a torture chamber. It happens in the open. It happens with a smile. It happens with the promise of love, belonging, and a better world. How does a man like Jim Jones convince over 900 people, including intelligent, educated professionals, to willingly drink poison in the jungles of Guyana? How does Marshall Applewhite convince 39 people to strap on matching Nike, decades and end their lives to board a UFO trailing the Hale-Bopp comet? It is not magic, it is a systematic dismantling of the individual identity. To understand this, we turn to one of the most vital frameworks in social psychology, the BITE model, developed by mental health professional and former cult member Stephen Hassan. BIT stands for Behavior, Information, Thought, and Emotional Control. If an organization or leader can control these four aspects of your life, they own your reality. Let's break down the dark psychology behind each. Number 1, behavior control. Control the body and the mind will follow. Cults, extremist groups, and even totalitarian regimes dictate who you associate with, what you eat, when you sleep, and what you wear. Why? Because of a psychological concept called cognitive dissonance. Discovered by Leon Festinger in the 1950s, cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort experienced by someone who holds two or more contradictory beliefs or values. Your brain hates this discomfort. So, if a leader forces you to behave in a certain way, say, waking up at 4 a.m. to chant, or cutting ties with your family, your brain experiences dissonance. It says, I am a smart, rational person. Why am I doing this crazy thing? To resolve the discomfort, your brain changes your belief to match the behavior. It says, I must be doing this because the leader is a genius, and this is the only path to salvation. They don't change your mind to change your actions. They force your actions, and your mind changes itself to cope. Number 2, information control. You cannot have critical thinking without diverse information. Dark manipulators use a tactic called milieu control. This term, coined by psychiatrist Robert J. Lifton, refers to the control of human communication. In a cult, outside news is labeled as fake, satanic, or the enemy. The leader becomes the sole source of truth. If you cut off a person's access to alternative perspectives, their worldview shrinks to the exact dimensions the leader wants. You see this today, not just in cults, but in hyper-partisan political echo chambers. If the other side is always evil, you will never listen to them. Number 3, thought control. This is where language gets weaponized. Cults use thought, terminating cliches. These are brief, highly reductive phrases designed to end cognitive debate. Think of phrases like, trust the plan, the Lord works in mysterious ways, or that's just bourgeois thinking. When a member begins to doubt or question the leader, they are trained to repeat these phrases to shut down their own critical thinking. The manipulator literally installs a firewall in your brain to stop unauthorized thoughts from forming. Number 4. Emotional control. This is perhaps the darkest tool. Manipulators manufacture a cycle of extreme highs and extreme lows. They love bomb you at first, showering you with affection, telling you that you are special, that you are the chosen one. Then, once you are hooked, they pull it away. They instill phobias about leaving the group. They make you believe that outside the group you will fail, go crazy, or face eternal damnation. You become bonded to the abuser, a phenomenon known as trauma bonding. You rely on the very person hurting you for comfort. This is the BITE model. It is a slow, methodical erasing of your hard drive, replacing your operating system with theirs. But here is the terrifying part. You don't need a compound in the jungle to be a victim of this. These exact same mechanics are used every single day on a mass, global scale. Cults operate in the shadows, but political manipulation happens on the main stage. To understand how politicians, propagandists, and demagogues manipulate the masses, we have to travel back to 1895. French polymath Gustave Le Bon published a book called The Crowd. Le Bon proposed a terrifying theory. When an individual joins a crowd, they undergo a psychological transformation. They lose their conscious personality. A collective mind is formed. Le Bon wrote, "By the mere fact that he forms part of an organized crowd, a man descends several rungs in the ladder of civilization. In a crowd, you become impulsive, irritable, incapable of reasoning, and highly susceptible to suggestion. Demagogues and extreme politicians do not speak to your rational prefrontal cortex. They speak directly to your amygdala, the ancient primitive part of your brain responsible for fear and survival." Let's break down the psychological tricks used to hijack the political mind. Trick 1. The creation of the other. Humans are tribal animals. For thousands of years, our survival depended on staying with our tribe and fearing outsiders. Dark persuaders exploit this by artificially creating an us versus them narrative. They will never unite a country, they will divide it. They define their group not by what they stand for, but by who they hate. The other is painted simultaneously as a profound existential threat that could destroy everything you love, but also as weak and pathetic. Once a politician convinces you that the other is fundamentally evil, you will forgive any corruption, any lie, and any cruelty committed by your own side. Because in the face of absolute evil, anything is justified. Trick 2. The illusion of truth effect. Adolf Hitler's Minister of Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, notoriously relied on the concept of the big lie. But modern psychology has a more clinical term for it: the illusory truth effect. Studies in cognitive psychology have proven that if you repeat a lie often enough, people will eventually believe it is true. Why? Because the human brain is inherently lazy. It relies on cognitive fluency. When we hear a statement for the first time, it takes mental energy to evaluate if it's true. But when we hear it for the 100th time, the brain processes it easily. It feels familiar. And to the human brain, familiarity feels like truth. Politicians use this masterfully. They will repeat a catchy, false slogan relentlessly. The media will fact-check it, their opponents will debunk it, but by constantly repeating the lie, they are ensuring it dominates the psychological landscape. By the time the truth puts its boots on, the lie has traveled halfway around the world. Trick 3. Fear appeals and moral panic. If you want to control a population, make them terrified. Fear bypasses logic. When you are afraid, cortisol and adrenaline flood your system. Your peripheral vision literally narrows. You stop thinking about long-term consequences and look for an immediate savior. Dark politicians manufacture moral panics. They convince the public that a specific group, ideology, or trend is threatening the very fabric of society. They are coming for your jobs. They are coming for your children. They are coming for your way of life. Once the public is thoroughly terrified, the manipulator steps forward and says the magic words, "I am the only one who can fix it." You aren't voting for a leader anymore. You are grasping at a lifeline. So we've covered cults and politics, but perhaps the most pervasive form of dark persuasion doesn't want your soul, and it doesn't want your vote. It wants your money, and it wants your attention. Welcome to the world of corporate advertising and social media algorithms. To understand modern advertising, we have to look at the nephew of Sigmund Freud, a man named Edward Bernays. Bernays is the father of public relations. In the 1920s, he realized that you could use psychoanalysis not to heal people, but to sell them things. In 1929, Bernays pulled off a psychological masterstroke. At the time, there was a taboo against women smoking in public. The tobacco industry wanted to double their market. Bernays didn't try to sell the taste of cigarettes. He linked cigarettes to the women's rights movement. He paid young women to march in the Easter Sunday parade in New York, lighting up cigarettes in front of reporters. He called them torches of freedom. Overnight, smoking wasn't a dirty habit. It was a symbol of female emancipation, independence, and rebellion. He didn't sell a product, he sold an identity. This is the core of dark consumer psychology. Advertisers do not sell you the features of a product. They identify your deepest psychological insecurities, your need for love, your fear of aging, your desire for status, and they position their product as the cure. Bernays was operating in the analog age. Today, corporate manipulation has evolved into a weapon of mass distraction. The tech giants of Silicon Valley have built the ultimate dark persuasion machine, the social media algorithm. Have you ever wondered why you physically cannot stop scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter? It's not a lack of willpower. It is a deliberate exploitation of a psychological concept called variable ratio reinforcement, discovered by behaviorist B.F. Skinner. Skinner put pigeons in a box with a lever. When they pecked the lever, they got a food pellet. But Skinner found something fascinating. If the pigeon got food every single time, it only pecked when it was hungry. But if the pigeon got food randomly, sometimes it got nothing. Sometimes it got a massive jackpot of food. The pigeon would lose its mind. It would peck the lever obsessively, continuously, never stopping. Your phone is a Skinner box, and you are the pigeon. Every time you pull down to refresh your feed, you are pulling the lever of a slot machine. Most of the time, you get garbage, a boring post, an ad. But every now and then you get the jackpot, a hilarious video, a deeply enraging political post, or a notification that someone liked your photo. This unpredictability floods your brain's reward pathways with dopamine. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it is the molecule of anticipation and craving. The tech companies have engineered their apps to keep your brain in a constant, low-level state of craving. Furthermore, they use big data and psychographics. Every second you spend online, an invisible profile is being built of you. Algorithms track how long you linger on a specific post. They know what makes you sad, what makes you angry, and what makes you buy. During the Cambridge Analytica scandal, we learned that data companies could predict your personality better than your own spouse based purely on 300 Facebook likes. They use this data to serve you hyper-targeted micro-manipulations. If the algorithm knows you are feeling lonely late at night, it will show you content designed to exploit that loneliness. You aren't the consumer anymore. Your attention, your behavior, and your psychological profile are the product being sold to the highest bidder. Whether it's a cult leader, a politician, or a marketer, all of these manipulators rely on specific ingrained psychological shortcuts that humans use to navigate the world. Psychologist Dr. Robert Cialdini identified these shortcuts in his seminal book, Influence. Let's look at how dark persuaders weaponize three of the most powerful principles against you. Number 1. The principle of reciprocity. Humans are hardwired to return favors. It's evolutionary. It's how tribes survived. But manipulators use this to create artificial debt. Have you ever been handed a free flower or a book by a group in an airport or on the street? If you take it, they immediately ask for a donation. Your brain feels a crushing, uncomfortable obligation to give them something back, even if you never wanted the flower in the first place. Cults give you free seminars or personality tests. Brands give you free trials. Once you accept the gift, the psychological trap snaps shut. You owe them. Number 2. Social proof. We look to others to determine what is correct, especially in times of uncertainty. If everyone else is doing it, our brain assumes it must be right. This was proven in the famous Asch conformity experiments in the 1950s. A subject was placed in a room with actors. The group was shown a line on a card and asked to match it to a line on another card. The answer was incredibly obvious. But the actors deliberately chose the wrong line. Overwhelmingly, the real subjects denied the evidence of their own eyes and agreed with the group just to fit in. Dark manipulators use this constantly. Sitcoms use laugh tracks. Politicians brag about their massive crowd sizes. Companies buy fake reviews and bot followers. They create the illusion of a massive crowd, knowing your psychological instinct to conform will do the rest. Number 3. Authority. We are conditioned from birth to obey authority figures. Parents, teachers, police, doctors. We trust the uniform. The terrifying power of this was revealed in the Milgram experiment at Yale University. Ordinary people were told by a stern scientist in a white coat to deliver increasingly powerful electric shocks to an unseen person in the next room whenever they answered a question wrong. Even when the person in the other room screamed in agony, complained of a heart condition, and eventually went dead silent, 65% of the participants continued to deliver the maximum, potentially lethal voltage. Simply because the man in the lab coat said, "The experiment requires that you continue." Dark persuaders wrap themselves in the symbols of authority. They use confident body language, impressive titles, and unyielding certainty. They know that if they speak with absolute authority, your logical brain will shut down, and your conditioned obedience will take over. We have journeyed through the darkest corners of the human mind. The manipulation is everywhere. It's in our politics, our pockets, and our communities. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel like resistance is futile, but it isn't. Brainwashing and dark persuasion only work in the dark. The moment you shine a light on the mechanics, the magic trick falls apart. You can build mental immunity. Here is your psychological armor. Step 1. Recognize the amygdala hijack. Pay attention to your physical body when you consume information. Are you watching a news segment or a TikTok video and suddenly feel your heart racing? Do you feel intense outrage, fear, or a sense of urgent panic? Stop. That is not an accident. The creator of that content is deliberately trying to bypass your logic. When you feel that spike of emotion, force a pause. Step back. Ask yourself, who benefits from me feeling this angry right now? Step 2. The power of the pause. Dark persuasion relies on urgency. Act now. The world is ending. Limited time offer. Urgency prevents critical thinking. Whenever someone demands an immediate decision, your default answer should be no. Force a 24-hour waiting period before you donate to a cause, join an organization, or buy a product. Give your prefrontal cortex time to catch up. Step 3. Pierce the echo chamber. If you only consume information that makes you feel comfortable and right, you are being manipulated. Actively seek out intelligent, rational voices that completely disagree with your worldview. You don't have to agree with them, but you must understand them. The moment you realize the other is not a demonic caricature, but complex human beings, the demagogues lose their power over you. Step 4. Audit your attention. Treat your attention like currency, because to the tech companies, it is. Turn off non-essential notifications. Unfollow accounts that thrive on outrage. Reclaim the quiet moments in your life. Boredom is the birthplace of independent thought. If you are never bored, you are always being programmed. The world is full of invisible architectures designed to control what you buy, who you hate, and what you believe. The illusion of free will is the greatest weapon they have. But knowledge is the antidote. Once you see the strings, you can no longer be the puppet. If this video shifted your perspective, if it helped you see the matrix of manipulation around us, I need you to do 2 things. First, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Here at Shadow Psychology, we dive deep into the unseen forces driving human behavior. We don't just scratch the surface, we expose the shadows. Second, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which of these dark persuasion tactics do you see happening the most in your own life? Is it the political fear-mongering, the algorithm addiction, or the cult-like behavior in modern groups? Let's analyze it together down below. Stay vigilant, guard your mind, and I will see you in the next deep dive.